Well, welcome back to UnWIne and Speak.
Welcome back.
I'm Stacy,
I'm Terry.
and we are here to unwind and speak the truth.
Exactly.
Now, if you've never come to our channel before, please make sure that you subscribe, comment, tap that notification bell so you can get updates on our upcoming videos that we'll be posting, and also browse the ones that we already have posted.
Come ready to listen, share your thoughts and experiences. Have your drink, your favorite drink, your wine, whatever you want to have. Unwind and speak up with us.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to tell you on our last episode, the last couple of episodes has been a topic that was explosive, if you will. If you didn't get a chance to see those other two episodes, there will be a link in the bottom of the description. Actually, we'll put it at the top of the description so that you can get on that and abruptly find out what the topic was all about.
Yeah, actually catch up and then, watch this one. Watch them in order so you can kind of follow along what we're talking about. I want to go ahead and piggyback about... I'm sorry, baby. Did I cut you off? Is something that you want to say?
Don't you always?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You something you want to say?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. It's a man's world. Or not.
Hey, I'm sorry. Okay. But I just want to say something that last time on the last video, I know what we were discussing. I said that...
what were we discussing, honey?
Well, we're discussing about being step-parents and parenting. And I remember that I said that when she say about me being a step-parent, the first thing that comes to mind is just bad memories, no good memories, just all bad memories. And when I thought about it some more, yeah, I had bad memories, but not with all her children, I do have some good memories where we had some good times and, that we shared some holidays and like just spending quality time.
That was with all of the children.
Yeah. I guess just immediately when you say step-parent, it immediately goes to the negative feelings of the bad experiences that I had.
And usually that's how it is with any subject.
Yeah.
That is very touching.
So I guess us guys, like me and her son or whatever, it just it immediately went to those bad experiences and overpowered the other one. So I immediately said that I had no good memories. So I just want to correct myself on that. We did have some good times. We did. It just, I guess I felt like some of the bad memories with him kind of overpowered it. But I just want to correct it on that. Everything wasn't bad. So.
Well, thank you, sweetheart, for correcting that.
Yeah.
Because, hell, people probably was thinking, well, damn, why she still with him if it was like that the whole damn time? It wasn't like that the whole time. But again, like I just said, when you go through something and you run into obstacles or situations that seem to be detrimental to you, those types of things stand out more, especially if they're hurtful. Yeah. And I'm sure that each and every one of us has went through something in life that triggers one or two things, and it's just not a happy place where someone else may look at it and say, hey, there's nothing to worry about. But we should always remember that another person's pain is not going to be the same as someone else's pain, if you will. Everybody receives and interprets things differently, so your reaction or your action will not be the same as mine. And my husband's actions and reactions won't be the same as yours or ours.
Yeah.
So I think that too is another topic that we'll get into on another video. But we should always keep that in mind. Life is not going to be the way that you want it to be or the way that you think it's going to be just because it's through your eyes. Because your eyes are not the only eyes that are seeing that particular part of life.
Yeah, this is true.
So, our episodes was first meeting someone with children, then dating someone with children, then oh my goodness, you married someone with children. Why did you do it? We ain't gonna get into that either, but that might be another video. So make sure y'all stay tuned on that as well, because it's always a way to what? Snag them up. All right. Look at he get real nervous because I'm real outspoken. I get real outspoken. He can't handle it. If he get the scratching, y'all, you know what it is. He get nervous.
I'm a secret now. I'm like,
there's some things I'm telling you. He get nervous. He get nervous. I'm a bit too much. I'm a handful. You know.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she is.
But yes. So on that last episode, we were talking about just how some things that my husband may have said that it really triggered some feelings with me, in reference to my children, because getting him to understand that they will always be a part of me, no matter living or dead, they will always be a part of me, just as his parents will always be a part of his life. Excuse me.
And I must say, that was then, y'all. Now with my experiences, I have learned a lot. I've learned so much, and if I could go back, I would change a lot of things, and I would redo things, and I think maybe it could have possibly been a different outcome. It could have been a little bit better. I might still probably would have went through some of those things. I don't know, but I think it probably could have been a little bit better if I really, did some of the things that I've learned. So, we live and we learn, and we try to do the things better the next time, So
it feels good to hear him say that, because it was very, very emotional for me during that time, just having to play the middle, if you will. So I do apologize if I get a little bit light with my words or shaky with my words, because it really fills me up inside.
It was a rough time in our marriage, y'all. Like, seriously.
Because I didn't want to give up on my children, and I didn't want to give up on my marriage either, because I knew my husband loved me, but I also know what it was like to be a mother of a child that already felt like they didn't have the things that they wanted in life or needed in life. It was just hard. It was just hard on this.
It was.
You have to give me a moment. I'm sorry, but yeah, it was very, very emotional, to where me and my husband became very, very disconnected.
We did.
It
affected a lot of different stuff in our marriage. Wouldn't you say? I mean,
yeah, it did. There was times that I just wanted to disappear. There were times that, it's hard to wrap my words completely around my feelings. But it was when you marry someone that's your best friend, that is the person that you are supposed to be able to confide in when you have no one else besides God. And that person you couldn't turn to, because the issue lied solely with that person and someone else that you were also committed to loving.
To make it clear, I didn't know how to be there for my wife about a situation about her son when we wasn't getting along. When everything that had to do with her son at the time, it seemed like I just hated anything that had to do with him. I mean, I'm being honest, because we never got along. It was just, everything was just horrible. So how could I be there for her to talk to me about it, about anything that had to do with him, because I didn't want to hear it. Anything concerned him, I didn't want to hear it. So she pretty much felt like she was alone, and anything dealing with him, which I know now that I know it's hard dealing with a teenager, and you need, both parents or whatever. She needed me at that time, but I couldn't be there because I was so disconnected, and we were having problems with him, and anything that had to do with him, y'all, like I said, I didn't want nothing to do with it because it wasn't good. I didn't know how to be there for someone I felt that was disrespecting me. It was a hard situation.
Yeah, it was hard all the way around. Me and my husband argued more than we had ever argued. At this time, we probably had been together probably 6 years maybe, and we had never really had a big major fallout until
nothing major, like
we didn't have anything major.
Basis.
But when it started with that situation, it was just like a domino effect. And it was argument after argument after argument after argument. And like he said, he didn't know how to be there for me. And I knew how to be there for him, but at that time, I couldn't be there for him. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I couldn't be there for him, but I did know how to be.
As far as like other
situations.
Yeah.
When he wanted to talk about things, I wasn't hearing him. I didn't want to hear him because I feel like it wasn't being reciprocated to me. But then I understood why it couldn't be reciprocated to me, because what I needed to talk about was the issue between him and my son, or it was an issue with my son, but I couldn't discuss it with him because right at this moment and during this time, he hated him. That's a strong word. That's a strong word. And you should never hate anyone, excuse me. And my husband was raised in a household not to hate people. It was drilled into him. But he did. He had hatred. And one thing that my husband had an issue with, like if something really bothered him, when he lashed out in a way to make sure that whatever he said cut you like a knife, like cut you deep. And it couldn't be taken back. So no, I didn't know how to be there for him. During that time, it was almost 3 years that we went through this. And it was hard, so hard. And still to this day, we do deal with certain situations because everything that happened during those years built a wedge so thick, a wall of tension so thick with the family that we can't even do family functions.
I mean, it's amazing how having kids, and if you have issues and you have problems or something big happens between the relationship with you and your kids and stuff like that, it really affects more than just that situation. It's just like she says, a domino effect. It affects the whole family with everything. Like you say, family functions, everything. It's just, it makes stuff awkward. You try to, it's just not easy, y'all.
But I have to say that as time, you never forget the things. Don't get me wrong. You learn to forgive and forget. But that word forget is so easily tossed around. And I know that God teaches us to forgive and forget and let Him fight our battles for us. And we as human in the flesh, we always want to put our hands in that mix. But I do have to say that over time, one thing that my grandmother used to tell me all the time heals everything. As the time went on, it thinned out the feeling of hatred that was lingering around.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things may happen that may trigger you to think about those situations, but for the most part, time had healed it enough to where you can hear that person's name without getting angry. You can go through a situation and it not just turn you upside down and have your day flipped all up and you're pissed off all day. Time healed those things. And when time heals those things, it helps you to be able to try to regain that relationship with that person. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. Sometimes you have to love people from a distance. But again, if you're in a situation and your hurt is repeatedly opened up by different things, it makes it a little bit tougher. And one of the things I was talking to my husband about, when kids are growing up, kids do things over and over and over again. And you're like, you know what? I'm done with it. I don't know why, but I kind of separated out a little bit when it comes to kids. Now, when I say kids, I would say in the early 20s even so. I think people that are in the early 20s are still kids. And the reason why I say that, women mature faster than men do. Men take them forever to mature. You have some men that's in their 30s, some in their 40s that haven't even matured or haven't even started making mature decisions because they still want to be young and all this kind of stuff, and they don't think about the consequences of their words. They don't think about the consequences of their actions. And unfortunately, that's just how it is in the male role. And it's hard. So you want to come back and you think that when you do something nice for this person, or you say something nice, or you let time go by, that person has forgotten all of the things that has happened. That's not always true. We forgive and we try to forget, but we're all human. And there are things that are trigger factors, I'm going to use that word, that will make you think about something that person may have done, something that person may have said. And it's like, or time has went by and you're doing good and you think, oh, okay, that person has changed, and they do something else and like, I knew they didn't change. Well,
I don't know if this is kind of different part of what. One thing that we really disagreed on, or I don't know if we agree or disagree on it, but I know kids are not perfect, whether they're teenagers in their preteens or, early teens or whatever. I know they're going to make mistakes because I did when I was younger or whatever. My wife did. We all did. My thing is, with anybody, if somebody does something, they make mistakes, you forgive them, you help them out. They do something again, you can forgive them, help them out, and they do it again. But if someone keep doing the same thing and they're using you, or they doing this wrong thing over and over and over, I think God gives us wisdom and don't want us to continue to keep going through the same thing over and over. I think we're supposed to be smart, see the situation for what it is. I'm like, okay, this person's going to continue doing this. I need to love them from a distance, step back, and not keep giving to them no more, and you got to let it go. So I think that's something within the years, or within the time we've been together, we might disagreed on or whatever. And this is whether it was my child, or whether, I don't care who it is. If somebody does something, you can forgive them or help them out. They do it again, maybe you can help them out or whatever. But if they keep doing it over and over and over, and they're not even trying to help themselves, they're not even trying to better themselves, they're just going to look to you to bail them out every time and not even trying to be better. I think that's when you got to put your foot down. Look, this is it. Don't call me to bail you out, because I've bailed you out 3 or 4 times already. Now it's time for you to learn your lesson and I can't be there to bail you out. How are you going to learn? You got to start working towards bettering yourself. And so sometimes I used to tell my wife that, baby, we can't be there to bail them out no more. You know, it's over with the bailouts. They done used them all up. Now they got to learn on their own. They got to do things on their own. Because if you don't, we're going to forever be here bailing them out all our life. And how are they going to ever learn, you know? So that's something that I don't know if we agreed on or whatever. But we can't keep being there. We got to let them, whoever it is.
I do agree with that to a certain extent. I think that sometimes the part that we may disagree on is I think that sometimes people do things and you see it more as like they just doing things just for attention. Is it a cry for attention because you're missing something, or like before in our last episode when we were talking about you can buy people things and for that moment it makes them happy. For that week it may make them happy. For that 30 minutes it may make them happy. But is there something deeper that this person is looking for? The reason why they continue to do things over and over and over again. I spoke with someone once before, and I think my husband talked to his brother, and it made perfect sense. If a person does things and they might be looking for attention, are they doing those things for the attention, or are they doing it because there is no kind of emotional bond there that person has inside of themselves for you or anyone else, that they feel like, oh my goodness, I don't want to do this because I don't want to disappoint this person?
Oh yeah. My brother talked to me about that, and you know, I did admit to it. I was like, well, when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's true. I did not create a emotional or whatever bond with her son, as being his stepdad, to where he wouldn't want to disappoint me. I didn't. I thought that I was. So it's not like I didn't even try. I thought that I was. He liked a lot of stuff that I like. We both like Jordans. We both like looking nice. The new stuff that comes out. We both like video games. We both like sports. So I try to make sure we, okay, some shoes come out. Okay, let's get some shoes. Or he likes some kind of shoes, the same kind of shoes that I would get. Let's get him that. Or, okay, baby, he into basketball like me. Let's get him that basketball go. I mean, it was different stuff, but it wasn't enough. Maybe, but as far as the time as a father figure and him being able to be there, me being there to talk to him, to help him through certain situations, being able to just spending time with him, taking him with me with different places, just the quality time. I didn't do that.
And it was a few things that. It was just more than a few. There was quite a few things that he talked to my husband about. He didn't talk to me about it, and I was his mama.
No, I mean, we didn't really have.
And even with everything that went on.
No,
us. I knew he liked basketball, but he didn't even talk to me about things for Christmas. He didn't talk to me about stuff like that.
Well, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, but that's not really talking to somebody it's not really no deep father figure talking. He told me something that he liked materialistic. Again, it was about material things that he wanted. That was all we talked about. Oh, Dad. I mean, not Dad. Oh, Terry, I want this. Whatever. But it wasn't nothing deep, so it didn't work.
You talked to him and his friend about sex and condoms and stuff. He didn't talk to me about that.
We didn't talk about no deep stuff like that. I pretty much, look, you need to protect yourself here. It was something straight to the point. This is important here. That's it. But it wasn't nothing deep like he came to me about discussing stuff he didn't.
And, I don't think that my son dislikes my husband. I don't think that. Because even with all this stuff that has went on, he has come to the house and he wanted my husband to come outside and smoke a black and mild with him. Who the hell does that?
That's just a part of who he was. He was different. Y'all, he knows the stuff that he's doing, but he still was just at like nothing ever happened.
So that's why I was saying,
It was weird.
I wonder, do people do, I don't know how to word it, because they want the relationship with the person. Maybe they do things and they don't know how to correct it because it has went so far. And they really want to just let all that disappear and just start anew. Because it seems like that. It seemed like that's what he used to do. Like if he get in trouble, he would do stuff like that. Like I said, he used to bring us food, to try to get back on our good side. That is what he did. That was his MO, because he didn't want to not have us in his life. So he would just do different things, and he would never touch on anything. Like, we would have liked to hear him come and sit down and talk to us and say, I know I put y'all through a lot of whatever. I just want to apologize to you, whatever. Something to that effect, but it wasn't like that. He would do things like I said, bringing food to the house, or wanting to smoke a black and mild or something like that, but never address the situation. He just wanted it to disappear.
Yeah, so that was tough.
And so it was tough. It was very tough. But has any of you dealt with situations like that? How do you think it should be handled?
As far as what?
As far as, if you're dealing with a child that is trying to come into their own, how do you handle that? How do you handle being in a relationship? I'm going to say a serious relationship, because yes, marriages can break up, but it takes more to dissolve that union than it is when you're dating someone. So if the relationship is serious, how do you handle that? How do you handle being the common denominator? That's what I was. How do you handle feeling like you have to choose when you really and truly, if the child is young, you really don't have that option to choose, because when they're younger and they're minor, there is only one option, only one. When they become adults, then there's two options there to which you can choose from. But when they're a minor, you don't have an option. There's one option, you have no choice. As a mother, you can't just throw your kid away. It doesn't work like that. Because you as a mother, you're going to have this certain type of feeling that nobody else has as a mother. And I do have to say, and I'm probably speaking for a lot of mothers, we are attached to whomever we love. We are attached emotionally all the way throughout. Whereas men, they don't really become attached. Would you agree?
I agree.
They don't.
It takes a lot. I don't know. They don't. You can be gone here and gone tomorrow. They're attached to their shoes. They're attached to their money sometimes. They're attached to their cars. But people, they're not really attached to. Not unless it's their mother or father. Anything else. I'm attached to you, baby.
Yeah, you attached to me. But if push come to shove, you would let it go if it was that stressful. Because that's one of the things that we went through in that 3 years. We were about to dissipate and dissolve this because it was too much. He couldn't understand me and I couldn't understand him. He loved me and he said it over and over again. I love you, but I just can't do this. Would he been able to live seeing me moving on with my life or living with someone else? Probably not so much. Could I have done the same for him? Not so much, because we really do love each other. But sometimes things in life can pull you so far apart. So we really would love to hear comments about this type of situation. maybe you guys can give us some advice if you're older and you've been through things before that maybe is something that we're missing or something that we can add to our situation to make things a little bit better, or we can look at it a little bit differently. We'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, we would love to hear about your experiences. Y'all comment. Let us know if you've been through the same thing or if you're going through the same thing. Let's talk about it. You know?
This is our 3rd episode. We're not going to drag this out to a 4th episode. However, if we get some comments from you guys and everyone wants to start having this conversation, we really want to get a little bit deeper into this little rabbit hole, we will extend this episode. But we don't want to hold you up.
This step parenting is not easy.
It's not parenting.
Parenting is not easy. Period.
It's not easy.
So, got to get through it, do the best you can. You live and you learn,
You do. Don't give up on your marriage.
No.
Do not give up on your marriage. Do not give up on your children. If you can, be the one to provide the light. Even if they don't want to listen, you can choose to deposit positive things into their life, into their ear.
Yes. And time.
Oh, yes.
Not focusing on, if you're a step parent, not focusing on, oh, let me get them this. I know they like this because it didn't work. Time. Being that father figure or just being there to listen. Be there to just give that quality time. Teaching them things that they need to learn. Just being there to listen. If anything that they want to talk about, just time. It's over material things.
I'm sorry.
No.
Not just fathers. If you are a stepmother, you have no clue what that child is going through or has been through. If you can be a positive light at the end of the tunnel for that child, whether it be your voice, a kind word, a kind gesture. Let's look out for our children. Look out for our household. Keep our household strong. So many households today are so broken because of the most minute things. And all it took was just a moment of listening.
Yes.
Instead of just talking and fussing all the time. Can you hear what they're saying? Some things can be heard without a word being spoken. Are you listening? Are you listening to your spouse? Are you listening to your children? We all are human. We've all learned some grave lessons. Me and my husband have learned some grave lessons from our life experiences. Are you listening? Are you listening? Can you hear your child speaking to you? Can you hear your husband or your wife speaking to you? What is their language? They may not speak the same language that you do.
Another video on that.
That's another video.
We're going to share that with you. A lot of stuff that we learned, but I'm not even going to even start on that because it's some good stuff. We're going to tell you about it.
So in the next time, you make sure you visit our channel. And until the next time that we speak to you, we're going to just continue to unwind and we're going to speak the truth. Join us.
Let's do it, y'all. Have a good one.
Have a good one.